Good morning, student. Today we start theme 3 Kinship, Caste and Class, Early Societies, 600 BC to 600 CE. In the previous chapter, we saw that there were several changes in the economic and political life between 600 BC and 600 CE. Some of these changes influenced societies as well. For instance, the extension of agriculture into forested areas transformed the lives of the forest dwellers. Same as it is if we are talking about the craft specialist often emerge as a different social group. The unequal distribution of wealth sharpened or increased the social differences on that time. This chapter discusses issues in social history, including class, caste, kinship, and gender. It also introduces how textual tradition is our old books have been used by historians to reconstruct the social history. Our historians often use textual tradition to understand these processes. Some text lays down norms of the social behavior, other describes and occasionally comment on a wide range of social situation and practices. We can also catch a glimpse of some social action actors from their inscriptions. Each text was written from their perspective of specific social categories. So we need to keep in mind who composed and for whom. And we also need to consider the language they used and the ways in which the text circulated. Now we taking the central story of Mahabharata. I am just telling you our historian used the textual traditions, textual books. So if we know the knowledge about the kinship, caste or class, our historian taking the example from this big epic of India from this Mahabharata. So this Mahabharata, a colossal epic, a big epic, running in the present form into over 1 lakh verses. Verses means shlok, with depiction of a wide range of social categories and situations. On that time, we drew one of the richest texts of the subcontinent. It was composed over a period of about 1000 years, means 500 BC onward. This was written. The central story is about two sets of varying cousins. The text also contains sections laying down norms of behavior of various social groups. It this text describes a feud over land and power. Feud means quarrel. These were the Kauravas and the Pandavas, who belonged to a single ruling family of the Kurus, a lineage dominating over one of the Janpadas. The conflict ended a battle in which the Pandavas emerged victorious, and after that, paternal succession was proclaimed. Now, we are talking about the critical edition of the Mahabharata. This one of the most ambitious project of the scholarship began in 1919 under the leadership of a noted Indian Sanskrit V.S. Sukthankar. A team comprising dozens of scholars initiated the task of preparing a critical edition of Mahabharata. What exactly did this involve? Initially, it meant collecting Sanskrit manuscript of texts written in a variety of scripts from different parts of the country. The team worked out a method of comparing verses from each manuscript. Ultimately, they selected the verses, I'm just telling you, shlok, that appeared common to most versions and published these in several volumes running into over 13,000 pages. The project took 47 years to complete. Now, the two things became apparent. There were several common elements in the Sanskrit version of the story. Evidence of manuscript found all over the subcontinent, from Kashmir and Nepal in the north to Kerala and Tamil Nadu in the south. It means from the whole India they were collected the verses and the common they were also noted down in their book. Also evident were enormous regional variation in the ways in which the text had been transmitted over the centuries. These variations were documented in footnotes. Footnote means end of the book to the, to the main text. Taken together, more than half the 13,000 pages are devoted to these variations. Now, there were several common elements in the Sanskrit version of this story. Now, next topic is structure of family, kinfolk, norms of family, and kinship. We often take family life for granted. However, you may have noticed that not all families are identical. They vary in terms of numbers of members, their relationship with one another, as well as the kinds of activities they share. Same as it is, we also see in this time. Often people belonging to the same family shared food and other resources and live and work and perform rituals together. Like as in the in these times we also see this all these same things also happening in the not in the nuclear family, in the joint families. Families are usually parts of larger network of people defined as relatives, or to use a more technical term, kinfolk. Kinfolk means relatives. Familial ties are often regarded as natural and based on blood. They are defined in many different ways. For instance, some societies regarded cousins as being relations, but whereas other do not. Someone also some in the societies, some families they uh, also when they saw when there is a blood relation, that one is a cousin, but under another society they were not also using this one. For early societies, historians had retrieved information about allied families fairly easily. Far more difficult to reconstruct the familial relationship of the ordinary people. Historians also investigate and analyze attitude towards family and kinship, their relatives. These are important because they provide an insight into people's thinking. It is likely that some of these ideas would have shaped their actions, just as action may have led to the changes in the attitude. Okay, student, next topic we will cover in our next video. Thank you.